It's UvaldeRadio.net. Robert Miguel here with you, bringing you the best in all kinds of music, man. We do it all. We do a little rock and roll, some 80s, some 90s, some new school, do lots of country, whether it's from Nashville or right here in Texas. And I've got with me who I'm assuming is a Texas country artist, April Smith. Hey, April.
Hey. Hey, how are you?
I'm great. Now, I don't know a whole lot about you, April, but I'm really excited. We had the honor of seeing you perform with our friend Darren Morris a couple of weekends ago on a live stream concert. Now, from what I understand, it was kind of more your deal. He was kind of piggybacking, doing a little song swap with you. But, man, it was a fantastic show. Both you guys doing some stuff separately, and then, of course, helping each other out with some background vocals and duet kind of style. But yeah, so since Darren's the guy that kind of connected us, so to speak, let's first get into this. April Smith, what's your connection to Darren Morris? You guys longtime friends or what?
We actually met about a year ago. I went to a show of his, introduced myself, and told him, I'd be interested in doing some shows together. Could I maybe open for him a time or two? And he graciously let me step up on stage and do a song. And ever since, he's been willing to help me out with gigs or anything like that. And whenever I got ready to do my live stream to promote my album that's coming out, I said, hey, I can't think of anybody else better to share the stage with me on that. Let me help him too. And so I asked him to get on board with it, and we talked back and forth, and we're from East Texas, about 30 miles apart, and so we play a lot of the same venues, and so we've become really close friends and do a lot of music together, so I'm blessed to have him.
Now, East Texas, give us a little bit of insight into that East Texas music scene. How does that work?
Oh, gosh. The East Texas music scene is pretty awesome. There's a lot of really great venues with some stellar venue owners that treat us like we're kings and queens. And once you've performed there, you're family. And so there's probably a core group of us of maybe 20 different bands that make the rounds here in East Texas. I do some here in East Texas, but I also perform a lot in Dallas. Most of my musicians in my band are from the Dallas area, and so I do a lot more in that realm, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. But my home base and where I live is in East Texas in Dangerfield. So,
well, it's really cool, kind of learning where your connection with Darren is. And again, I believe we've still got that live stream is posted up on our Facebook page. If anybody's listening, be sure and go back and watch that. And there's also some links to make donations if that's something that you'd like to do as well. But again, we've got April Smith on the phone now out of East Texas. You said Dangerfield. Now you're gonna make me do a bad Rodney Dangerfield impersonation, but I won't do it. I won't do it. So tell me about Dangerfield. What exactly is going on there? I've never been. Tell me about your hometown.
My hometown is really very close-knit, very small. Born and raised there. My dad was sheriff at one time, or chief of police at one time. He was big in law enforcement there. My mom was a school nurse for 32 years. So when you have a police officer for a dad and a school nurse for a mom, everybody in town knows who you are. And so I've been privileged to have that blessing. It seems like it'd be a curse, but it's really not. I have a lot of support there in Dangerfield, and they've gotten behind this push for country music that we're doing now, and been very supportive. But I love it. It's just kind of out of the way and quiet, and good place to raise my children, and have had a lot of memories there. So I'm glad to still be able to call that home.
Now you mentioned that you do have kids. When I spoke to Darren Morris briefly about you when we were mentioning the live stream, he said that you had been in the business. You'd been doing the Texas country thing for a while, and then I think that he said that you had kind of dipped out to kind of take care of family, and then now you're kind of re-entering the scene. Give us a backstory on when you first started off, and maybe that break, and how you're getting back on that horse.
Well, I performed from the time I was probably old enough to walk on church stages, but really got into country music, singing at Opry houses whenever I was about 12 years old. I started singing every weekend. There was 4 different Opries, and I just kind of made that circle every month. And first time I played with the band, stepped up on the stage, I knew, okay, this is what I want to do. I did that for all of my high school career until I graduated. Got a music scholarship to Southeastern Oklahoma State University. Went for a semester, and I had been dating the same guy for 4 years, and decided that I didn't really want to be away from him. And so we got married, and we had 3 kids. I briefly, when my dad was diagnosed with cancer in 2005, he asked me if I would do an album for him, and so I did a gospel album for him, and that kind of sparked that I want to do this some more. I miss the stage, I miss music, and so I got back into it for a couple of years, but then it really was causing some issues with me being gone so much, and I was missing a lot with my kids, and I just decided it's not fair to them for me to not be there for all those things, and so I took a break, and now I've got one in college, one fixing to graduate high school, and then one that's still at home in high school. But they're very supportive. They're old enough now that they understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and so they come to shows and sell merchandise for me and things like that. But they're very supportive. And but yeah, when my dad died in 2014, I was sad all the time, and I couldn't figure out why I was so sad. And then somebody asked me if I would fill in for a show one day. They just needed a fill-in, and I said, yeah, I'll do that. And I stopped crying the day that I started singing again, and I realized that music and lyrics fills a hole in my heart that nothing else could, and I couldn't give that up. And so that's when I started back singing, and really seriously, probably 2016, got back to it, and have done a couple of projects, but this is the first big project that I've actually finished that's ready. They're ready for radio release and things like that. So I'm ready. I'm ready now.
Now, if I may, this might be a little personal, but it seems to me like, you've been a musician, singer, the vast majority of your life. You obviously really enjoy it. It seems to me, and of course, I'm not a performer, that something that's such a part of you would be one of the last things you abandon in the time, in a time of trial. And again, I'm not trying to shrink you, but I'm wondering what made you, I guess, pull away from music. It seems to me, though, that somebody that's close to music would kind of know that it's therapy, that it's therapeutical. Was there something that just kind of made you go, I can't really do this anymore? Or
my parents divorced whenever I was younger, and I promised myself that I really didn't want to live to raise children in a divorced home, and I didn't want my children to be subject to that, and I wanted them to have a mom and a dad, and it came to the point to where it was our marriage or it was music. And my children were little, and I didn't want to do that to them. And so I stayed for a while, and then when it came back around several years later and I decided I wanted to go back to singing, and I was given that same option, I knew my heart had made the wrong choice the first time, and that I had to go with my heart, and I needed to do what made me happy, and that if he loved me, he would agree to that. But that's not the way it went. So, but we had our fair share of problems, and so you're right. It is hard to believe that you would choose something, to walk away from something that means so much to you. And all I can say is I thought I was doing the right thing for my children, and but for myself and for my own well-being and my own emotional well-being, I should have chosen otherwise.
Well, it sounds like you've got a lot to reflect upon, and a lot of things that I'm sure that you can pull from as far as creating music or lyrics. As far as music goes, do you write your own stuff, or do you do your own lyrics? What's that process like? And of course, are these types of things that you get your inspiration from?
Absolutely. Yes, I have written all the music that'll be on the album whenever we release the EP. We've done 6 songs, and I've co-wrote all of those with Taylor Tatch at Audio Styles in Dripping Springs. And it definitely is reflective of my life and experiences that I've had. The single that's coming out, Enough, that is a direct reflection of, me finally saying, okay, I don't have to be enough for anybody else. I just have to be enough for myself. And so I've drawn from all personal experiences and definitely needed some help, because I am not a master writer by any stretch of the imagination, but they're able to see my vision and take that and form it into something that is meaningful, and I think it's pretty awesome.
Sounds great. Well, again, we're talking to April Smith. She's got a brand new single that's out now, and it's called Enough. Now, getting back to the EP, obviously you pulled from some stuff that's gone on in your life. Musically, if you had to describe kind of the overall sound, texture of the collection of songs, what are we looking at here?
Well, I really wanted to stay true to country, because I think that a lot of people miss that. They miss that traditional country sound. However, sometimes it doesn't always come off exactly like what you wanted. But I think that my music is just, I mean, it's just real. It's not really, I can't really compare it to anybody. I think that what we've created is driven towards touching people's hearts and their experiences, and but the music itself is just, I don't know, I guess you could compare it to maybe some of the things that Brie Bagwell has done. She's got some really great music out, and I think that she's awesome. And Ashley McBryde, that style of music, I think that those are probably pretty close to the way that this music came out.
Well, man, we're looking forward to hearing all the new songs. Of course, we're going to play the new single here in a moment. But let's talk about the live show. I know I've seen you perform kind of in a live, scaled back setting. As far as doing a show, do you have like a go-to band? Do you prefer to do kind of more of a singer-songwriter acoustic showcases? If once this quarantine is all done and we can get out and see an April Smith show, what can we expect there?
Oh, you can expect that all of my musicians are professional musicians. They actually tour with other groups as well, and so sometimes my company that I keep changes, and that's why we refer to my band as the company, because they kind of change in and out depending on who's out on the road and who's not. But you're definitely going to see a killer lead guitar player. Steel guitar is always going to be something that I want in my band, because you just can't have. It's not really a fiddle in my band. You can't have my band without steel guitar.
All right.
So you're going to have a steel guitar player, bass and drums, and a keyboard player occasionally if he gets to make it. So there's usually 6 or 7 of us on the stage. Just kind of depends. And I'm backed by a management company that also does lighting and audio visual design, and they are always great at surrounding me with really good lighting, and you'll see a little bit of that on the live stream that we're doing on Texas Country Music Association, because we're doing it from the studio for streaming, and that you're going to see some of that production around me there. So they really make sure that when we go out and we do something, you're seeing something like you're not going to see anywhere else.
Well, again, we got April Smith on the phone right now. April N. Smith. Now, is that important, the N?
It is, yes. There's another April Smith from New York, and I get messages a lot asking me about her songs, and I have to clarify. And so for that purpose, yeah, the N is kind of important because of that. So
Now, be honest here on this. Is that just a stage N, or is that actually like a middle name in there somewhere?
That is my middle name, yeah. My middle name is Nicole.
All right, Nicole. All right, very good. So, yeah, we're looking forward to now. Again, you're releasing your single today. The song is called Enough, and you got a live stream going on. It's tonight at 7 p.m. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so give me the details.
It'll be streamed on the Texas Country Music Association website.
Okay, so basically the Texas Country Music Association website. Are you going to have it also on your Facebook page or any other way, or just through that website only?
We're going to do our best to get it on both. As far as I know, we should be able to do from both places.
Now, from what I understand, it's going to be from 7 to 8 p.m. What can we expect on that? Maybe your originals and maybe a few cover songs in there too, or how does that? How do you look to play that out?
Yeah, we did. We're going to do Enough for sure. We also have a new release called 4 Shots that'll be coming out on May the 26th, and we're going to perform that and a couple of the other originals that are going to be on the album that'll be coming out later this year. But we also held like a VIP all-access bonus for people who had responded to the post, and they got to help create the set list, and so they sent in some suggestions, and we're going to do a couple of requests from them, and then some of my all-time favorites that I just can't really do a show without slipping those in there. And so we're going to try to get about 13 or 14 songs in. We'll see if we can get it in an hour, but we're going to do a little bit of question and answer. We've had some of the people that were involved in that all-access VIP group that sent me some questions that they'd like for me to answer on air, and I'm going to be doing my best to do that. So, but it's really going to be more about music than talking. I'll try not to talk too much.
Well, man, it's been really cool getting to know you. We're really excited about your big show. Again, 7 p.m., Texas Country Music Association website, or find the April N. Smith Facebook page and get details there. But April, let's go ahead and do your song. Again, this one's called Enough. Give us a quick reminder about what the song's about.
Enough is an anthem for women who have lost their voice and are looking to find it. It's about letting them know that you don't have to be enough for anybody else except for yourself, and it's okay to walk away and say that you're choosing something for yourself because that's not selfish. That's being good to yourself. And so it's basically a war cry for those people who need to find themselves again.
We're right on that. Before we play, let's tell everybody how they can get hold of it. I'm sure it's going to be available for purchase right online.
Yes, it's available on any digital streaming outlet, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, all those things.
All right, man. Well, we've been talking to April N. Smith out of Dangerfield, Texas, East Texas, and here's her new song. It's called Enough. Thank you so much, April. We appreciate your time, okay?
Hey, thank you so much.
All right, this is Uvalde Radio.
As he stumbled in, she met him at the door, and he heard her whisper softly, I can't do this anymore. And as she packed her bags and passed out on the floor, leaving was the hardest thing, but she knew she wanted more. She said, I gave you all I had, but it wasn't enough. When the tears started falling, I knew I had to get tough. You spend every weekend hanging out with friends. No matter what I say, the bottle always wins. You love whiskey, wine, and women more than you love me. And after 15 years together, I can finally see. Walking out this door, I'm setting myself free. May not be enough for you, but I'm damn sure enough for me. She moved herself to the other side of town. She's building her a new life while he burns his to the ground. He promises to change if she comes home, but the truth is she